Good evening, Leslie. What have you got?
Good evening, Ian.
Good evening. What happened, Leslie?
I'm still here.
I know. I'm just
working nights as usual.
Good lad.
Down in Milton Keynes as usual.
Somebody's got to do it, Leslie, and luckily for me, it's you.
Well, I know. Someone has to pay the bloody tax.
Well, yeah. Well, I pay tax. I don't lump me in with Jimmy Carr and that lot. I pay tax. Pay a load of tax, me. And I'm proud to do it.
What I found about Ian, you know the crisis in Africa.
Sorry? Suddenly, me playing the karaoke version of Cool for Cats suddenly sounds incredibly inappropriate. Let me just pause this. There we go. The situation in Africa, yeah, front page of the Daily Mirror, new African famine crisis, yes.
Yeah. This is my view on it, right?
Go on. Oh, dear.
I'm not happy of giving donation to man-made problem like that.
You're not happy giving money to starving children. Okay, Leslie, why is that?
No, not starving children. Well, man-made
starving children
situation, because that is man-made.
Okay, so you're not happy giving money to man-made starving children. Tell me why.
Yeah, why? Because this thing forever going on.
Yeah,
right? You solve one problem, and a few years later, another one pop up, right?
Yep.
Right? Then, right?
Yeah.
Right? You solve this problem with these kids, right? In 20 years' time.
Yeah.
In 20 years' time.
Hang on a minute. This is isn't this because of that Somalia's having the worst drought they've had in about 70 years?
No, it's not. You've been wrongly informed.
It's not rained in Somalia for 3 years.
No. That's not one of the problems. One of the problems is war, right?
Hang on a minute. Let me just read. Hang on a minute, because I'm getting up to speed with this story. This is in the Daily Mirror. Her mournful cry was so faint, tiny. So it's about a baby dying, which is good. Born at the epicentre of the worst Somalian drought since 1950, it's not rained for 3 years. They've battled starvation. The drought-stricken Somalia, malnutrition, babies, and so. Sorry, which part of that drought in Somalia was man-made, Leslie?
I explain, right? There were one country and then the breakaway, right? Right? One country was Muslim, the breakaway, no, one is Muslim, one is Christian, right? The breakaway country was Muslim, and discovered now that the Christian side of I think it was Somalia, right? The Christian side have found oil.
They found oil.
Right?
Yes.
And then the Muslim side said, we want some of that. And the Christian side said, no, you're not having any of it. Right? You break away. Right? And that's where the war started. Right?
It doesn't mention war anywhere in this article. It mentions drought and starving babies.
No, it wouldn't.
Maybe it doesn't, Leslie, because, I don't know, maybe it's got nothing to do with it.
Right? Yes, it has got, right? No, you just mentioned they were drought for 3 years, right?
Yes.
Right? For heaven's sake, you have got a country, right? You have got a country to govern. What would you do if this country had that similar problem, right?
We don't live in the desert.
No. I understand there are water in the desert. There are water underneath the ground.
It hasn't rained for 3 years. The water table sinks pretty low.
Underneath the ground.
Yeah,
right?
How does that water get there?
Right, by your country, you must create things. Right, you must create things.
Leslie, they ain't got no money. They ain't got the money to create things.
But they got money to fight wars.
Well, it doesn't mention war in this story.
Well, that's
it's
how I know.
About
I'm not reading newspaper propaganda, I'm afraid.
Well, you're not buying into that fake news nonsense, are you, Leslie?
No, I am not.
Well, then read some newspapers and get an informed opinion from reading them, not just going onto YouTube and looking at documentaries on there.
No, I don't go on YouTube. This is something that.
Where did you get all of
last year? Sometimes.
Where did you get all of this?
What's it all about?
Gosh, you're so angry that babies are dying, but you're not angry for the right reasons. You're angry because you don't want to help them.
No, these babies, 20 years time and 25 years time,
They'll still be dead. They'll still be dead in 20 years' time, Leslie.
You help these babies. 20 and 25 years' time, they will be the general. They will be the next
They won't, because they're dying.
But what about those that you rescued? They will be the next warmonger. They will be the next general.
Right.
Right? We've seen it time and time and time and time. It's a never-ending story. Right. I'm fed up with it.
Right. Well, thank you. Right. Thank you for that, Leslie. You've encouraged me. I'm just going on to the UNICEF website. I'm donating 36 quid. So, and I'm going to say that it's coming from you.
No, don't say that.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it. I'm saying it's coming. I'm putting first name, Leslie.
Because the next war, I'll be guilty.
Yeah, I'm donating 30... I swear to you, I'm doing this. I'm donating 36 quid, and I'm saying it's coming from you, Leslie.
And then I'll be guilty on the next generation.
No, you won't be guilty. You'll be good, because you are How can you judge babies, right, that are dying on what they might do in 25 years' time?
It may sound extreme, but in reality, it's not.
No, it's not reality. They're babies. You don't know what they're going to be doing in 25 years' time.
If we want to stop future war, we need to stop donating.
So, hang on. If we want to stop a future war, we've got to kill babies. That's what you're saying. If you want to stop... You're talking about genocide. You want to wipe out all of the Somalians. Leslie?
Hello?
Yeah. You're talking about genocide. You want to wipe out all of the Somalians. Leslie?
I don't want to wipe out all the Somalians, but in order to stop the war, we got to stop donating. Right?
I'm donating 36 quid. Now. I'm doing it now. Thanks for drawing my attention to it. UNICEF, stop the famine in Somalia. 36 quid. Boom. And it's gift aid, so they get more money. Thank you, Leslie. And it's under your name. Literally, I've just done it. Donation complete. Beautiful. It's under your name, Les.
And then I'll be guilty then.
You're not guilty. Guilty of what?
Years later,
Saving.
25 years later,
but Leslie, you can't judge a baby on what they may or may not be doing in 25 years' time. They're babies.
2007, right? 2017, 2016, right? Right? 25 years ago, these were the same people you saved, Ian, from dying.
Yeah, good. I want to save some more. I'd like to save some more. And thanks to you, Leslie, I've just donated 36 quid. It's not a lot. But off the top of my head, I'm comfortable donating that. I can afford that. Boom, it's gone.
And you'll be guilty.
No, how can you say someone is guilty of saving a baby's life? Why do you hate babies, Leslie?
These are man-made situations.
Babies are, yes.
Disaster.
They
are man-made.
But Leslie,
not natural disaster.
Leslie, here's my advice. I had a revelation last night at the power of radio.
What?
Right? I'm going to tell you a story. Last night, right? I had a revelation at the power of radio and partly why this country and indeed this world is in such a miserable state, and how me and Kath and Ed are doing something ever so slightly different. And if more people were doing what we were doing, the world would be a better place. Let me tell you why.
Love it to me.
Let me tell you why, Leslie, right?
Go on.
You listen to LBC a lot, don't you?
Yes,
right.
Sometimes.
Yeah. LBC and most other radio stations and most other radio shows really try and scare their listeners. They get loads and loads
I know.
Leslie, let me finish, right? Because this is an important point. This is genuinely an important point. Where last week I was asking, what am I? Last night I had a little glimpse at what I could be, right? So, LBC, it thrives, it makes money on scaring people, right? And telling people to hate, right? and telling people to be afraid of foreigners and afraid of asylum seekers and all this. It breeds fear, right? And I've been thinking for ages, am I a lone voice doing this show? Am I achieving anything? And last night I got it. And I tell you where I got it. I got it in the most ridiculous place, right? And I'm sure this gentleman will not mind me telling this story. I've started going to the gym again, right? It's the second. I went last night and managed to get into an abs class at the last minute, right? So I dashed down there. And I was stood waiting to go in the class, and there was a big lad on a running machine, right? And he was staring at me. This big lad was staring at me, and I thought, uh-oh, it's trouble. When I say big, I mean he was overweight, right? Staring at me. I thought, oh, God, stop staring at me. No, this is important, right? And he was staring at me for about 10 minutes while I was waiting for the class. And he finished, and he walked over to me. I was thinking, oh, please don't come and talk to me. And he came over and he went, are you Iain Lee? I said, yeah. He said, I'm a big fan. I listened to your radio show. I thought, oh, brilliant. He was a nice lad. And he said, my name is Harsh. And I recognised him, actually, because he tweeted me a few times. And he said, I really enjoy your radio show. This is my first time at the gym for a long time. And the reason I've come to the gym is because you were talking about getting back and going to the gym. And he said, you inspired me. In a throwaway conversation I had with Kath on air, he said, you've inspired me to get back to the gym and try and work off some of this weight. And it hit me then, Leslie. It hit me then, right? People are what they hear. People are what they hear. And and I was reminded of all the times I've been out doing shows and stuff, and men primarily, have come up to me and said, you talking about male depression and feeling suicidal and feeling lonely. I've had those things. I'm lonely. I've been suicidal. And your show has helped me. And that's never registered before until this lad on Sunday night said, the reason I'm at the gym tonight is because you were talking about the gym and about getting back, and you've inspired me. Now imagine, right, if LBC, instead of 24 hours a day, right, instead of 21 hours a day, was going about, we hate immigrants. We should be scared. They're not asylum seekers. They're economic migrants. We are scared of foreigners. We want our sovereignty back. Imagine if for 21 hours a day, instead of doing that, they were doing, how can we make the world a better place? What can we do to help people who are fleeing from war? Isn't it awful that there are a tiny number of people that abuse our fantastic benefit system? What can we do, even though it's only a fraction, what can we do to stop benefit fraud so that those people that genuinely need benefit aren't stared at as though they are guilty? What can we do to help these starving babies in Africa? I genuinely believe it. I got it last night. If they were broadcasting 21 hours of just a slight twist, instead of the hate, turning down the hate and turning up the love a little bit, if there were more people doing a show like this, where we don't focus on the negativity, we focus on the positivity, Leslie, you would not feel comfortable phoning up a national radio station saying you want babies to die because of what they might do in 20 years' time.
This is my personal view, Ian. Right? No one else, my personal view.
I don't believe you.
Sorry.
You've been brainwashed, brother. You've been brainwashed.
No, I've not been brainwashed.
Because you don't want babies to die, Leslie. I know you don't. And you're phoning me up telling me we should let a whole generation of babies die because of what they might do in 20 years. Well, supposing in 20 years they become doctors and they save your kids, or they became teachers, or they became pilots, or they became leaders in business. Supposing if we gave them the opportunities to do that and they didn't become generals, they didn't become killers. Supposing we gave them the opportunity. You can't write off babies, Leslie, and there was a period in your life when you would have heard yourself now saying we should let those babies die, and you would have been disgusted with yourself, and you need to try and find that bit of you, Leslie.
Anyway, Ian, that's my personal view.
Thank you very much for calling. 03444991000.
I've just listened to that last call. I will be donating tonight £50 to UNICEF.
There we go. Beautiful. You see, and thank you to Leslie for bringing it to our attention. I genuinely, while he was talking, I went online, UNICEF, first one that came up. I've heard of them. I recognise them. I know they're a good charity. 36 quid gift aid. It's not masses, but you know what? It's better than I was going to do. So thank you to Leslie for reminding us that there are starving children and that we have souls and we're allowed to help them.
Can I finish?
Gosh, Paul, wow.
Yeah, you were on a bit of a rant. You were on a bit of a rant a little while ago about believing in that you realise now that you have an actual power.
Yeah,
in the world
I'm guessing you listen. I believe you are what you hear, and I'm guessing you listen to a lot of dull radio. Would that be correct?
No, I used to
a lot of rude radio.
No, come on, no, I don't. No,
rude, dull radio.
No.
Okay.
I listen to an online music channel, actually, most of the time. Hello?
That might be why you struggle having conversations with people.
I'm having a conversation with you, aren't I?
Well, yeah, but then every time you stop expecting me to say something, even though you've not given me a question, you get up, you go all weird and go, hello.
Okay. Right. Yes, Samana is a problem. We have to help them.
We don't have to.
No, but we should.
We don't.
Everyone should do their little bit.
No, not if they don't want to. I don't believe in making charity compulsory. If you feel moved by it, if you feel a powerful pull to it, then yes. And if you are able to dip into your pocket, then by all means do. But no, I don't think people should.
Okay, right. I'll say this then. I don't particularly agree with comic relief. Yes. I've just said that.
You're expecting me to be shocked or something?
No, I don't know. I don't know your opinion.
Okay. Well, what do you mean you don't agree with it?
Because I don't particularly agree where the money goes to.
Where does the money go to for comic relief?
It goes all over the world, but I don't particularly think a lot of it actually gets there.
How do you know that? What research have you done?
I just think, from what I do know, and I found out about it, I don't believe the whole money you donate or buy red nose actually gets there.
Well, and how you say you found out this information? How did you find it out?
Well, just over the years.
Yeah, go on. How over the years?
Well, it's probably scanned on the internet, I suppose.
You scanned on the internet. What website did you get the information from that most of the money you give to Comic Relief doesn't go to Comic Relief and doesn't go to the charities?
Okay, name me the guy that started up Comic Relief.
You're the one that's moaning about Comic Relief. You tell me. You've obviously come to a reason why you did...
Richard Curtis, yeah?
Right, if you knew the answer, why did you ask?
Because I was asking you if you knew.
Right, okay, so it's Richard Curtis. I do know, because I've met him. I did a gig for him for Comic Relief. But go on, yeah?
Okay, right, I don't believe everything he does is particularly correct.
Okay, what do you mean, particularly or politically?
Particularly.
What don't you think he does?
Also politically,
okay.
Yes.
What do you think he does that isn't particularly politically correct?
The way he kind of contradicts himself with things he does.
For example?
What he writes for and produces.
For example?
He employs.
So, instead of being vague, give me some specifics.
Well, the way he sells out and just his practice.
I don't know what you mean by sell out.
Why has he not been knighted yet, then?
You don't agree with Comic Relief because Richard Curtis hasn't been knighted?
No, I'm asking the question. No.
Well, I've asked you a question.
Why do you think Richard Curtis hasn't been knighted
I've asked you a question 4 times and you've yet to answer it. Can you give me a specific about what you disagree with that he does, politically or particularly?
The things he writes, the way he goes about writing.
For example, you're speaking in vagaries, Paul. I'm asking for specifics. Give me an example.
Okay, some of the things he writes, some of the films he makes...
Give me an example. You don't want to give the money to Comic Relief because of Love Actually and Notting Hill.
He will write and make sitcoms and jokes to do with racist things.
For example, we're narrowing it down. Give me a specific example where Richard Curtis has made a racist joke in a sitcom.
Vicar of Bloody Dibley.
Right, give me that line.
Oh, come on. Don't...
You're telling me you disagree with an entire charity because the guy that founded it and doesn't have that much to do with it anymore did a racist joke in The Vicar of Dibley. I don't believe you. Tell me what it was. You can't remember it because it didn't happen. That's okay. That's fair enough. Let's try again. You said you had evidence that the money didn't go.
Never, you're putting words in my mouth. I never said I had evidence.
You said that through your research you discovered that the money didn't go to the causes, and then I asked you for an example of that, of where you heard this, and all you could come up with was Richard Curtis did a racist joke in Vicar of Dibley.
Yeah.
And so that's what makes you think the money doesn't go to the causes.
No, I haven't said that. I said, yes, some of the money will go to the causes, but not the whole money you donate.
Because he did a racist joke in the Vicar of Dibley?
No.
Then why? How do you know this?
Because I'm saying the whole of the money you donate, and you want to donate the whole of the money. The whole of the money doesn't get there.
Paul, guess what? Guess what, brother? That's the same for every single charity.
Okay, I'll give you an example then.
Please, at last.
I've donated the money that all the money did get there.
Go on.
You know, about 18 months ago, there was that trend for asking people to do that ice bucket challenge.
Oh yeah.
Okay, right. And you had to.
What was that? What was that raising money for?
It was raising money for charity, mainly to do with a guy that was an American footballer that suffered a certain disease.
What was the disease?
I can't remember.
So you gave money. You're citing an example of a charity where all the money goes to the cause, and you don't even know what the disease was.
No, you haven't let me finish. Instead of doing the ice bucket challenge,
yes,
I decided that it was just a waste of water. So I donated money to WaterAid.
Right.
Okay, and the whole of that money did go to WaterAid. There you go.
What does WaterAid do?
Provides water that we were talking about for places like Somalia.
Right, that's what they do, is it?
Well, that's one of the things they do.
Yeah.
But I know the whole money gets there.
No, it doesn't.
Go on, then you give me facts then that you know that.
Okay.
Go on, Google it quick.
Yeah, I'm Googling it. Paul, because guess what? I don't know that.
You've had to Google it, but you've already stated that you know it's a fact. But you've had to Google it.
No, because it's up on my screen, and I can see already that with one quick Google search while I'm talking to a prune shows me that it doesn't. This is from 2012. No, hang on a minute. It doesn't. Do they have a CEO?
You're having to research it when you said it already.
Paul, because guess what? I don't have the stats on WaterAid like you. At least I'm trying to answer you, unlike you, who completely fudged around the whole comic relief. You don't support comic relief because there was a racist joke in the Vicar of Dibley. And you heard something that some of the money might not be going to the charities. Does WaterAid have a CEO?
Yes.
Right. So then you've answered the question. Not all of the money goes to wherever it's supposed to go because the CEO, guess what? Takes a salary.
What's the CEO name of WaterAid then?
I don't know. You've just told me they have a CEO.
I'll tell you. Richard Branson.
Right.
And he doesn't take any money.
Well, you've shot me down in flames there, then, that has to be said.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, OK, so you only give... Hang on a second, Catherine's doing more research for me, you see? Catherine.
Well, as far as I can see, the chief executive of WaterAid is Barbara Frost.
Oh, Paul, would you like to kiss it now?
She's about to retire after 11 wonderful years.
Can we find out her salary, please?
Yep.
Paul?
Yes, go on. You're Googling.
Yeah, Googling, mate. What? As though that you've got a problem with that. I don't have all of the information at my fingertips, but I know that charities, and I know because I was listening to a radio show about it just 2 days ago, charities have CEOs who take salaries, who take very, very handsome salaries. And then they have to spend...
I'm telling you, I know the old CEO.
Then they have to spend their money. And when did you make this? When did you make this donation to WaterAid?
Around 18 months ago, at the time of the trend, I told you of doing that ice bucket challenge.
And because you thought it was a waste, Catherine?
About 130,000.
She takes... The CEO of WaterAid takes 130,000. Can you find out if and when Richard Branson was the CEO of WaterAid? So, Paul, that shot you down in flames?
Yes, that I find disgusting.
Why is it disgusting? Hang on, Catherine. I can't hear you.
Barbara has been the CEO for 11 years.
Wow, Paul?
Mm-hmm.
And yet you thought Richard Branson was the CEO 18 months ago and he didn't take a salary. Where did you get that information from? Katherine found it Googling it in 2 minutes.
Did I say Richard Branson was the CEO for the last 11 years?
No. You said 18 months ago.
I said I donated 18 months ago.
Because the CEO was Richard Branson and he takes no money, Paul. She's been the CEO for 11 years and she rightfully, and I have not got a problem with the heads of charities taking a big thing, because you know that if she went and worked out in the business sector, she'd be getting 3 or 4 times that amount of salary, and she has taken a pay cut so she can be the CEO of a charity. So I have no problem with the heads of charities taking over 100 grand. I have no problem at all. Paul, no charity...
So you're telling me she's taking a pay cut and getting paid 130 grand a year?
Yes, mate, because if she went out into the business world, she could probably get 3 or 4 times that.
Well, you've educated me. I just find it disgusting.
Well, Paul, you're an idiot.
No, I'm not an idiot.
No, you are an idiot. You're an idiot. The reason you don't like Comic Relief is because the bloke that started it once did a racist joke in The Vicar of Dibley. You donated to a charity because you thought the CEO was Richard Branson, who doesn't take a salary. Well, for the last 11 years, we found out it's this woman who takes £130,000 a year. You're an idiot.
No, I'm not.
You're a blithering idiot. You haven't got a clue about anything.
No, I've got a clue.
No, you haven't, Paul. You've literally, in the last 10 minutes, you have literally proved that you haven't got a clue about anything you've called in to talk about.
Okay, so did you do the ice bucket challenge?
No, mate, because I thought it was stupid. I thought it was stupid.
A waste of water, yeah?
No, not because I thought it was a waste of water. I thought it was stupid.
And a waste of water.
No, that's not why I didn't do it. I did it because I thought it was stupid. I couldn't give us... I waste water. We've got a hose, and I chase the boys around the garden with a hose. We waste water.
Okay, when you brush your teeth in the morning, do you...
Why are we talking about wasting water? What has that got to do with charities?
Because I'm just making a point.
You're clutching at straws. You're clutching at straws. You're clutching at straws.
Wouldn't think of,
Paul,
that wouldn't think of if they were doing that.
You are clutching at straws, Paul. If I were you, I'd put the phone down and I'd go to bed.
I'm a good person.
You've embarrassed yourself.
Right, I will leave you with this then. I might be an alcoholic, but I'm also asthmatic. I constantly reach for my Bacardi breather.
What am I supposed to do with that? Laugh? Because it ain't funny, and after the conversation we just had, it's plain offensive.
Why is that offensive?
Because we've just been talking about starving babies, and you're making a piss-poor joke.
Yeah, okay, Ian. Fine. I'm going to go back to flipping. I'm going to go back.
They don't want you on TalkSport. Cundy and Goldstein told me that they got the production guy to tell you to call me because they were sick and tired of you. They told me that. They don't want you there, and now I know why.
I'm just trying to start a revolution from my bed because the praise they said went to my head.
Stop it! Put the phone down. You're embarrassing yourself, man.
Yeah,
you're quoting Oasis lyrics to me.
Because maybe I speak the truth and they did.
You've spoken nothing but gobbledygook.
In your opinion?
Mate, the reason you don't like Comic Relief is because you seem to remember, incorrectly I vouch, that Richard Curtis made a racist joke in The Vicar of Dibley. That is stupid.
Well, I get Lenny Henry to snog Hugh Grant then live on Comic Relief.
What are you talking about?
Okay, good night.
0344 499 1000, late nights with Iain Lee on Talk Radio. So I was walking from Dingwalls, which is by the canal, to my car, where I'd parked about 7-8 minute walk away near a housing estate. And as I was walking towards the car, and I came off of Camden High Street, and it started to get a little bit darker and a bit quiet. It was dark, but it was a little bit quieter. There was hardly anyone on the street. To the left, about 100 yards, was a hockey pitch, I think, or maybe a netball pitch. And I saw this guy about 80 yards in front of me. I don't know why I'm using yards. I don't know what a yard is. Could use feet. I couldn't do it in metres. I could not tell you in metres. 03444991000. And I saw this guy was talking out loud. First of all, I thought he had, because I'd just seen a girl with the headphones in and making a phone call with the headphones in, like you can do these days, like the iPod headphones, but she was making a phone call because there's a little microphone there. I didn't realise there's a microphone there. So I saw her. So I thought he was doing that. Then as I got closer, say 60 yards, I thought, he's not got any headphones in. He's not holding his phone up to his face. This guy is talking out loud to himself. This guy is not well. Then I got a little bit closer and I heard him saying something, he was repeating over and over again, gay people are just people, don't touch them. I interpret that as meaning leave them alone. Gay people are just, in fact, he may have even said that. Gay people are just people, don't touch them, leave them alone. Gay people are just people, don't touch them, leave them alone. And he was getting louder, he was very loud, almost shouting it, but he was on his own. And I did that thing that we all do. I was in Camden, and it has a slight reputation. I don't live in London anymore, so I don't feel as safe on the streets of London as I did when I lived here. I got my phone out, and I stared intently at my phone. Looking at Twitter, I thought, don't make eye contact. Gay people are just people. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. And I got up to this guy, and as we walked past each other, we looked at each other. We made eye contact. And he said, hey, man, gay people are just people. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. I went, nice one, man, thank you. And I carried on walking. As I got about 3 or 4 steps away, it dawned on me what I'd just seen. Right? Let me describe the fella. I would say early 30s, 32, about 5'9", 5'10", clean-shaven, short dark hair. I think it was an English accent. I didn't detect an Irish. Was there an Irish? I don't think so. I think it was an English accent. Gay people are just people. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. He had on a sort of white top with stripes on maybe and jeans and white trainers. Gay people are just people. Don't touch them, leave them alone. And as I got about 6 or 7 steps away, it dawned on me what was going on with his arms. It was a short sleeve top, sort of white with blue stripes. The sleeve stopped just above the elbow, right? And from the elbow on both arms down to the forearm, the flesh had been cut away. About, what's that, 2-inch strip of flesh had been cut all the way from the elbow down to his wrist on both arms. Don't touch gay people, they're just people, leave them alone. And there were cuts all around his arm. And it was thick, black blood, and he had blood all down his top. Gay people are just people. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. And this was, the skin had been peeled off of his arm. You could see bits of flesh at the edge of the wound hanging off. It was a deep cut, man. It was deep. In my head, I imagined I could see bone. I probably couldn't. There was white stuff in there. Probably wasn't bone, maybe a bit of fat. I don't know what it was. Gay people are just people. Don't touch them. Leave them alone. So I did what all of us would do. once I'd made this connection in my brain, about 6 or 7 steps after I got past him, I carried on looking at my phone and I walked away quicker, thinking, dodged a bullet there, boy. You dodged a bullet there, boy. That could have been messy. And then I got about 15 steps away and I thought, what the hell are you doing? That guy looked to me to be off his face on drugs, right? I don't know, but he kind of looked to me. He wasn't in pain, wasn't in any pain at all. And these were fresh wounds, because there was blood pouring out of it. These were fresh wounds, right? 15, 16 steps away. I thought that is a soul that's in trouble. That is a soul that's in trouble. So I did something that I wouldn't normally do. I turned around and I took a couple of steps towards him and I called out, hey dude, are you all right, man? He stopped and he turned and looked at me and he went, gay people are just people. Don't touch them, leave them alone. And I went, yeah, that's fine. Are you all right, man? He went, I'm fine. I said, why don't you let me call you an ambulance? He said, no, I don't want any ambulance. I said, dude, this is all, we're about 15 paces away from each other, okay? I didn't want to get too close. I went, dude, your arms don't look good. Please let me call you an ambulance. He went, I don't want you to call me an ambulance. There's a phone box down there. And then he turned and he walked away. And I turned and I walked away. And I thought, you dodged a bullet there, boy. You did your bit. You can go home and sleep easy. You dodged a bullet there, boy. Because imagine if he'd wanted you to call him an ambulance. You'd have had to sit with him. You'd have been late for work. You'd have been sat with a nutter. He might have, who knows if he did that to his arms, if he did it to someone else. Maybe he's talking about gay people because he's just attacked a gay person. You're going to get blood all over you. And I walked away and I texted Kath, I've just seen the most horrendous thing. And I got to my car, which was about 20 seconds away from there. And I got to my car and I got in it. I thought, I should have followed him. I should have followed him. That is, he's damaged goods. He is in big trouble, that man. I should have followed him. So I got in my car and I put my sat-nav on. I used my phone as the sat-nav. And it was telling me to drive away from where we were. And I didn't. I turned around and I went back to the street. But then to have followed him, and I couldn't see, I looked down the end of the street, I couldn't see him, and there's every chance he could have got quite some distance in that time. And you know, got swallowed up in the hustle and bustle of Camden High Street, which is very, very busy, about 9 o'clock as it was, 9:15, on a Tuesday night. Is it Tuesday? Yes, it is. And I couldn't go that way because it was a one-way street. And I thought, right, well, what I'll do is I'll go round the long way. And I didn't. I didn't go round the long way. I didn't. As I was going around, I thought, well, someone else will have found him now. It's someone else's responsibility now. And I drove in. And I feel a little bit guilty. No, I don't feel a little bit guilty. I feel quite guilty. I feel concerned. That's it. I feel concerned about that soul that is somewhere with horrific injuries to his arms that will hurt. When he comes down from whatever it is he's on, that is going to hurt. And it's going to scar. You know what I mean? The flesh is gone. And I feel concerned. And do you know what I should have done? Not should. I don't like the word should. Do you know what I... how can I phrase this? Do you know what I would rather have done? I'd rather have spent the next 30 minutes driving around trying to find him. And when I was in the car, I was even thinking, if I find him, I'll get him in the car and we'll go off to a hospital. It would have been blood everywhere. And I thought, do you know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. And do you know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, does it really? When you consider it's some soul wandering around who is lost mentally and physically, you know. And I really wish I had not prioritised the show, and I prioritised the show, and I should have prioritised a human being, and I should have prioritised a brother, and I mean that in the sense of a young man, he's younger than me, who's in trouble, and I should have gone to find him. And then part of me thought, well, maybe I should phone the police. And I thought, well, if I phone the police, what have I seen? And I'll have to wait around. And I wish that I had gone the long way round and turned right to drive down Camden High Street slowly, looking for this fella, instead of driving straight on and coming to work tonight. That's what I would rather have done, actually. And, I don't know. That would have been the right thing to do. It wouldn't have been necessarily, but it would have been the more human thing to do. Why am I telling you this? I don't know, really. I don't know. I'm telling you this because I guess I just want to put my hand up and confess that I feel I've let myself down a little bit. And some of you, you'll be tweeting and going, well, Dad, don't worry about it, Ian. You did the right thing. You called back. You asked me. I know. I'm not sinking into a depression about this one, right? I'm not thinking, oh, God, I should have. Oh, no. I did. I spoke to him. I made contact with him. That might have, snapped him out of his fantasy a minute later. I don't know. Someone might have found him. I don't know. I'm happy that I made contact with him and I made eye contact with him and I spoke to him and I offered it, the opportunity for me. I'm happy with that. But, I would rather that I'd have phoned Kath up and said, Kath, I might be a little bit late for this show, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to make the show tonight, because they would have found a best of. They would have put out. We got loads of interviews stacked up. They would have put out the interviews. Kath and Ed could have held the fort. Something would have happened. And I might have been able to help a brother, help a soul who's in a lot of pain. And I didn't do that. And I'm a little bit disappointed in myself for that. I've let myself down a little bit, I feel. I let him down a little bit. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on the matter. But here's an interesting thing. It turns out, and apparently it was on Sam's show, and I didn't hear it, but one of our regular callers was near the event. And it's Gatford. Gatford.
Hello, can you hear me all right?
I can hear you now. Are you back in hospital? Did you come out of hospital?
Yeah, I was in hospital twice this year already, and I was in hospital this time, unfortunately, having my big toe amputated.
Oh, my goodness. Hang on. Why?
Unfortunately, all the various bits of times where I've been in hospital, they've been dealing with me fighting infection in my foot.
Yeah.
And all the various times. It's been going on for 6 months. And it's been ongoing, and they've done everything they could. But at the end of the day, the decision was made that in order to do everything the right way, that they amputated my toe on Monday.
I'm sorry to hear that. How are you feeling?
Surprisingly good.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course, yeah.
Have you got it pickled in a jar?
No.
Okay.
I was hoping to let you give it away as a prize, but they wouldn't let me.
But you're feeling all right?
I feel fine, basically because I'm not in any pain, because I've got something called neuropathy, so I don't feel things in my feet, which is
I know.
Here in the first place. So I'm not in any pain.
And that will stop the infection spreading, will it? Have they stopped the infection?
Yeah, basically they've taken out the infection by taking the bone around the toe.
Beautiful. Well, then
all things will be good from now on.
Can you? Have you been able to stand up? And is your balance the same minus a toe?
Surprisingly, it is. I've walked to and from. I'm in a little family room that they've got here in the ward, so as not to disturb the other patients who I'm in a room with. And yeah, I can walk, and my balance is fine at the moment.
Good for you. Now, what is that? Is it St Thomas's Hospital?
Yeah, St Thomas's Hospital. I'm on the 9th floor.
Where my nephew Dylan was born in there. Yeah,
Dylan.
Yeah. I know the hospital well. So your window looks out onto where all this happened, does it?
Yeah. So basically, I predominantly can see the Houses of Parliament. You can see half of Westminster Bridge.
Okay.
The other half is sort of hidden round the corner.
Yeah.
So the news guy was saying, when the driver went north, he was heading away from me.
Yeah, and towards Big Ben. Okay, yeah.
And I unfortunately didn't see that incident. I think fortunately.
I think you're lucky not to witness that.
And I first got an alert on my phone. I think I was looking at Twitter at the time. And I put the news on, and there was that very weird moment where what was on the television was happening outside my windows. And the most bizarre thing was once the helicopters started coming in, I could almost go, okay, that's that car I can see there that they're showing on the helicopter. Oh, that's that police officer that I can see there.
Gosh.
And it became very, very bizarre. I've suffered in the past with anxiety, and I've kind of linked a lot of that anxiety back to the riots that happened in 2011.
Yeah.
I think because I was in the middle of Gatford when that happened, and there was a lot of stuff going on
Gatford was in
there.
a terrible state, wasn't it?
Yeah, and literally I walked past a big branch of a famous sports store that was ransacked as part of it, and on my walking to work the next morning, there were like boxes of empty shoe boxes where people had stolen all the shoes.
You got anxiety because you didn't get a free pair of trainers from JJB Sports. Is that what that is?
They didn't have my size. I was terrified.
Gosh, no, that must have been terrifying. That must have been absolutely. Were the riots in 2011, 6 years ago?
Yeah, because it was the year before the Olympics, wasn't it?
It was.
Because everybody was going off about the fact that we can't have the Olympics because of the riots.
Yeah.
But I think what made me the most anxious around them was I came home and I had BBC News on the telly, I had Sky News on the laptop, I think I even had ITV News on the phone or something, and I sat there and I obsessed on it for 6 or 7 hours, I think like most people did.
Yeah.
And I found myself getting that way again this evening, because it was so close. Now, I have to say, the staff here at St Thomas's were incredible. Not only were they calm, one particular healthcare assistant just sat with me for a bit. He could tell that I was getting a bit anxious. So he just sat with me and he just chatted. And we chatted a little bit about what was going on, but then we also chatted a little bit about his home country of Portugal and where his girlfriend was going out or anything. And obviously he couldn't sit there all the time because obviously he's got a job to do. But any time he got a chance, he came back and said, how you doing? What's going on? And, sort of knew that I was locked into this thing a bit.
And what were you watching? What were you watching? The telly, your phone, or watching out of the window more?
I think I was watching the television more because obviously they were providing the solid information. Looking out the window was the worst thing for me because I was imagining it probably, and I know it's terrible, I was probably imagining 50 times worse than what I actually was going on.
Yeah, well, yeah.
So I focused on the television a bit. At that point, though, it was very confusing because I think even when I spoke to Sam earlier, we still thought possibly it was two different things and that it had happened the wrong way round.
Isn't that interesting? As I heard the story, I heard the story as there had been two cars. A car had driven along the bridge, knocking people down, and another car had driven trying to get into the entrance of the Houses of Parliament. That's how I'd heard it. So I was surprised when I finally heard that it was just one car.
And the way we were hearing it in the hospital, again, there was quite a kind of rumour mill through the hospital as well, people hearing different things from colleagues, that we thought it was someone had got into the Houses of Parliament and separately someone was driving their car.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard.
And we were kind of very confused and, obviously all got sort of straightened out later. But yeah, and we had relatives who were visiting people who were concerned about getting home and concerned about loved ones, that might have been working.
There's an A&E, isn't there, at St Thomas's? Because we drive past. I drive past it on the way home from work, and you often see ambulances. So I would imagine that some of the poor souls that were physically affected by the attack would have come in there.
when they were saying there was about 20 people they were being told that about 3/4 of them were here, and that some had been airlifted. We saw the air ambulance land.
Yeah.
That was kind of one of the first major. I mean, obviously, it's what's the weirdest thing now is I can't look out there now, but when I go back to my room, Westminster Bridge is empty.
Yeah.
And
there were bits of London. There were bits of London this afternoon that were not empty, but I mean, I was driving trying to get here, and some of the roads that were nowhere near as busy as they would normally be at 5 o'clock. Then, of course, you come over to the other side of town where the bridges are open, and it was a little bit chocker. Gatford, you're right. I'm imagining this has unsettled you. Partly because it's unsettled the country, but also because you were literally just down the road from it.
I think this hasn't been a red letter week for me. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
But I think again, I reconnected with a gentleman this week. 2 weeks ago, I came to Guy's Hospital for an appointment, and someone that I knew that was sort of in the same ward and area as me was shivering and shaking, and I could see that he was suffering.
Yeah.
So I convinced him to go up to his appointment early, rather than sitting in the canteen and waiting for his appointment. And I got him up there, and we got him up there, and he collapsed when he was there, and he was taken into A&E. And I saw him yesterday, and unfortunately, he's worse off than me. And that gave me great perspective. And I think today has given me perspective that when I heard about, and they're now saying 5 people, and it's likely to rise, it gave me that perspective that I think I was lacking on Monday and now have in abundance.
Gatford, you're a good soul. Go and have a good night's rest, and we'll speak again soon, mate.
Take care. Thank
you very much indeed. Right, Cleo.
Hello. How are you?
You
know what? You set a little earworm off in my head. You know when you mentioned wormholes.
Yeah.
I've been thinking of a song. I don't know whether you learned it as a child down south, called the Wiggly Woo.
Go on. Let's hear it.
I'll try to remember all the words. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden.
No, hang on a minute. That song's just called There's a Worm at the Bottom of My Garden.
Is it not called the Wiggly Woo?
No. That's what the worm is called. The song is called.
You're right.
The song is called There's a Worm at the Bottom of the Garden.
And his name is Wiggly Woo. What's the rest of the words? There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and I don't know what to do.
Well, now, hang on a minute, because you're saying that this is an earworm.
It's stuck in my head.
Well, but it's not stuck in your head that well, because you don't know the words or the tune.
Oh, I've got the tune down, but it's like trying to remember the words.
You didn't sing it! You didn't sing the tune!
Shall I do it with more confidence?
Yes, please.
There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and his name is Wiggly Woo. There's a worm at the bottom of my garden, and I don't know what to do.
Here we go. Hang on a minute. Stop singing, because you're actually going to wake the dead. But it's a great. We've got a great phone in now, Cleo. Songs with worms in them. So we got Wiggly Woo.
Oh.
We've got I'm going to go and eat worms.
What's that?
Nobody likes me. Everybody hates Scaramouche. No. Nobody don't go into Bohemian Rhapsody. Nobody likes me. Everybody hates Scaramouche. Scaramouche. Think I'll go and eat worms.
I've never heard of that,
There's the brilliant, do you know Dr. Worm?
You're making this up.
No! Wow, dude! If only I could make that up, I would be a genius.
Dr. Worm.
You don't know Dr. Worm?
No.
You don't know Dr. Worm?
Never heard of that one, dude.
You just sit there, fella, and you enjoy.
Whoa.
Here we go. They call me Dr. Worm. Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Worm. I'm interested in things. I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real worm. I am an actual worm. I live like a worm. I like to play the drums. I think I'm getting good, but I can handle criticism. I'll show you what I know, and you can tell me if you think I'm getting better on the drums. I'll leave the front unlocked 'cause I can't hear the doorbell. What do you reckon, Cleo?
I've never heard of it like.
You've never heard this? Well,
the Smiths?
Yeah, it's a bit like the Smiths. Hang on, stay there. Got some more. I get into it, I can't tell if you are watching me twirling the stick. When I give the signal, my friend Rabbi Vole will play the solo. This is Rabbi Vole playing the solo, Cleo.
This is mint.
Stay there, stay there. Little bit more to go. Big finish. Big finish. Here we go, guys. Big finish. Someday somebody else besides me will call me by my stage name. They will call me Dr. Worm. Good morning, how are you? I'm Dr. Worm. I'm interested in things, but I'm not a real doctor, but I am a real worm. I am an actual worm. I live like a worm, and I like to play the drums. I think I'm getting good, but I can handle criticism. I'll show you what I know, and you can tell me if you think I'm getting better on the drums. I'm not a real doctor, but they call me Dr. Worm.
Bravo.
Well, now, this is the thing. This is why I can't be a pop star, because I need to have a lie down for 10 minutes now. And probably
is that
change...
off a cartoon or something?
Sorry?
Is it off a cartoon or something?
It's a song! It's Dr. Worm!
I'm going to look it up. It sounds mint. I might learn it.
Thank you very much, Cleo. You'll do it better than I did. I dream of being mediocre. I dream of... I'm allowed to slag people off and places off, but no, but I you know, I had the best, least paid, but almost the most fun 4 years of my career working there. I got to meet some really great people. Let me name them. Justin, Scoins, Kelly, Lawrence, Carol, JVS, Liz Flowers, Tim, Roberto, Ernie Almond. There was that guy called... there was a guy there, called, the cleaner called Prince.
Toby Friedner.
Yeah, Toby Friedner.
Someone else. Kelly?
No. Jan. So, some great times there, guys. Got to meet some great people. And it fed my children for 4 years, and it didn't feed them too well. But there you go. These things happen. 0344 499 1000 is the telephone number. If you want to give us a call, you're more than welcome. Not many of you called in last night. Your names have been taken. I wrote the names down of the people that didn't call. And, I was going to keep it as a kind of register, but instead I've I've put a hex on them.
Oh.
I got some hair, and I burnt the hair with the names, and I recited the Lord's Prayer backwards. So all of those people have got.
Were
a
you
box.
naked at the time?
Oh yeah, yes.
Full moon?
Yes.
Full moon?
Yes, I said I was naked. Now, Catherine, what spiritual thing has happened to you?
I don't think I want to share.
Why?
Well, 2 reasons.
Go.
One,
Yes.
at the start of the show.
Yeah.
And 2,
Oh.
the list.
Do you want to hear my neck click? Here we go.
Oh.
There we go. That's a neck clicking. It's a spiritual show this evening, dear listener. I want to know when something spiritual, spooky has happened to you.
Okay, I'll tell you.
Go, gadget legs.
When I was driving home last night,
Yeah.
I was looking at my hands on the steering wheel at one point, and
You said licking.
looking. At my
You said
hands.
licking.
No, I wasn't licking my hands.
But you said licking.
That is contrary to the highway code.
I was licking at my hands.
looking at my hands.
You say looking like licking.
You say milk like milk, so I don't.
I
think you should
don't.
be
I had
throwing
to
your
say.
weight
I
around.
had to read the word milk in a script the other day, and they didn't ask me to do it again because I saw it coming, and I thought milk, lemonade round the corner, chocolate's made.
But how do you normally say it?
Milk. Yeah, milk.
Is that a Slough thing,
Yeah, sure, why not?
or is it just you?
Yeah, sure, why not? Whatever. Whatever. Why not be racist just because of my Indian heritage? Go on, you be racist. Go on. Just because my mum's from India and my
mum's from London.
dad's a Jamaican. Just be racist, Catherine. Because I've got an Indian mum and a Jamaican dad. Yeah, be racist. Go on, that's fine. Because it's all right to be racist now. It's all right because of people like Abu Hopkins. It's all right to be racist now, isn't it?
Anyway.
Abu Hopkins isn't my name. I saw someone someone called is it Marina Hyde, who writes for The Guardian, referred to her as Abu Hopkins, and that's sticking. that's sticking, guys. Yes, Catherine's story.
I was driving home. This is going to be awful now because.
Well, do you know what? We on this show we strive for the mediocre. So if we can hit that,
I think I can help you with that.
I'm in. Go.
I was driving along last night and looked at my engagement ring.
Oh.
And I thought I remember.
Congratulations.
To who? Him.
Well, cheeky.
And I thought of another ring I once wore on that finger.
Hey, Catherine!
No.
Catherine's going bowling.
What? No!
That's what it's called, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Well, it's called, isn't it? When you, it's called going bowling, isn't it?
I'm not left-handed.
Okie doke.
When I was a student, I had a long-term boyfriend, and he bought me a ring.
Yes.
Not an engagement ring, but it was quite a fancy one for those times. I think he went to Elizabeth Duke.
Was that the
Argos?
Yeah, the Argos
and
concession.
It was a really thin gold band, and it had like a sort of V shape, and they were like little diamond chips and sapphires. He was quite keen, he was only a kid.
Yeah.
And I wore this.
You were going out with a kid?
We were both kids.
Well, how old were you?
When I went to university, 19.
What, now was you, like 12?
Oh, he was the same age as me.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so I wore this the whole time. He went to university in London, I went to university in Nottingham.
Yes.
And I wore this ring on my right hand.
Hang on a minute. You went to university and you were going out with someone who was going to a different university.
Yeah, we started going out in the lower sixth.
Schoolboy error, guys. Come on. Everybody knows if you're at different universities, it ain't gonna last. It isn't. And by the way, if you're courting someone who's in a different university, or you've gone to university and they've stayed in the hometown, it ain't gonna last, guys. Really.
Unless she's amazing.
No, it isn't going to last. And don't do that thing halfway through the first year where you miss him so much that you're thinking of dropping out.
No, don't do that.
That always ends well.
Don't do that.
That always ends well. I miss him so much, and I don't need this law degree.
Oh, God.
Suckers.
We went out for 5.5 years.
Wowzers.
What a waste of time.
Yeah, for him. Carry on, please.
When he dumped me, I paid for it.
What do you mean?
Phone call.
Really?
I phoned him back.
Oh, flipping.
Yeah. Cheeky.
Did he ask you to phone?
I said phone back. Yeah, because this was in the days before mobile phones, when there was a phone on the landing, and I was in a house.
Do you remember phone cards?
Yes.
And people used to collect phone cards. And I wonder, because a lot of people, they would collect them. Once BT, I think it was BT that made them, Busby. Once Busby realised that there was a few quid to be made in this, and that the credit would never get used, they would release limited edition ones. Now, people collected those and paid top dollar 25 years ago, I'm guessing. Can you tell me, dear listener, are they still worth it? Have they gone up in value, or what, is it just a complete waste of time?
No.
0344 499 1000.
Anyway, so I went to university and I wore this ring on my right hand.
Yeah.
Unless, what an idiot. Unless I was going out to a club or whatever, and a lad cracked onto me, and then I would surreptitiously put it on the other hand and say I was engaged. What an idiot.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was thinking about this last night, so I was driving home.
You did that once in the whole 3-year course?
I did it a
the
few
lad
times.
cracked onto you?
I did it a few times.
Okay.
I wasn't unattractive back then.
Well, time is a harsh mistress. Time can be so cruel to the jowls.
Well, and also there was great competition in Nottingham because there's a lot more women than men.
Was it Nottingham? Was it 3 girls to every boy?
6.
Flippin' heck! I still wouldn't have pulled. I still would not have got any.
Anyway, so I was
Yes.
thinking about this ring last night, and as you know, on a Friday, for really boring reasons, I go and have a nap at my mum and dad's
Yes, I do.
because I have to vacate the house.
Yes. She has a cleaner coming round and she's embarrassed to be in the house while the cleaner is there.
I think it's bad form to be lying in bed when there's someone dusting around you. I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm never going to get used to that.
No.
I've got quite a lot of
I used to go and sleep in my car. I used to go and drive round to the woods and sleep in the car when the cleaner came round. After I'd tidied up to
Yeah,
make
I do
it
tidy up
tidy.
first.
Isn't that funny?
I do tidy up first. Anyway, so
I
when
persuaded you to get a cleaner.
I
and
know,
and
because the house was running away with me, and
Yeah.
it was depressing me.
Yep, she lives in a mobile home.
I should have put the prop on.
Please get to the point of this story,
I was
Catherine.
at my mum and
because
dad's, and my
wanna-
dad said they've been clearing out what used to be my bedroom, and there was a box of stuff, and
Yes.
could I look through it and see if I wanted it?
Okay.
And in the box was the ring.
Right.
And I thought, well, that's funny. I was only thinking about that yesterday. And do you know what? What I said to my dad?
Get
Nah.
stuff, Dad. I hate you.
I said, nah, chuck it all.
03. Oh, I've lost out on one Nintendo GameCube. I put a bid on. Great story. I wasn't actually paying much attention to it, but I got the basic gist that you slept around at college.
No, I never.
0344 499. Darren, you want double bubble? You've been on. We don't condone.
Well, I did ask you,
Oh.
Ian, I did ask it was relevant to the night.
What?
It was relevant to the night.
To what night?
To this night.
Well, then why would anyone say to the night and not say...
Well, I did that.
It's what people
well,
from
hold
North
on,
say.
hold on, mate.
Tonight.
Carry on.
The
I'll
night.
shut up.
Yeah, why would anyone say why would you say it's relevant to the night instead of saying it's relevant to tonight?
Because a majority actually...
But you can't have double... You can't...
Whoa, Ian, you can stop there, like, because when it's relevant to the night, I meant it's relevant to tonight. T-O-N.
Yes, I know. I've got what you meant, but the rule's clear. Have you got the rule guides that were sent out to all of the listeners? The rule guides.
There's no rule guides being sent to my door.
Well,
mate.
you should have received it. Catherine,
God,
explain to him rule 115, paragraph B, A.
Quit when you're ahead.
There's no double bubble, Daz.
Catherine asked you, and I got to go ahead, and
You didn't ask me.
it was a 50-50.
You didn't ask me.
You didn't ask. It's Emma you spoke to.
Well, who did I speak to then?
Let me try and say it again. It's Emma you spoke to.
All right, sorry, apologies.
Right. So, but you can't have double bubble.
Well, all right then. I did ask if I could,
Yeah.
or if I could not.
She's not read the rule
She said,
guides.
I don't know. I'll find out for you. So what? You're just blatantly trying to wind me up.
No, I'm not. I'm not trying to wind you up. I'm just following the rule guides.
Ian,
You can't have double bubble. Everyone knows that, apart from you, apparently.
Well, I said double bubble, right? And she didn't have a clue what I meant.
Well, oh, hang on a minute.
So you knew about double bubble.
Thank you.
What?
I want an apology, Ian.
Whoa, hang on a minute. I'm talking to you.
Catherine.
You knew about double bubble, Darren, and you still
Yes,
persisted.
but I asked about it as well, and you said you'd see what you could do.
I never said anything, Darren.
Who said that then?
Emma!
Darren,
All right, sorry.
the last call went so well to restoring my faith in humanity in you. And this call is... You knew about the double bubble rule guide. You knew about it, and yet you still tried to infiltrate the system. You could have come on under a different name.
I wouldn't do that.
But yet you'd flout the rule guides.
No, I didn't flout the rules.
He's flouting, Catherine. I can't deal with him.
You make the rules.
You deal with him, Catherine. I can't deal with this.
Oh, God, what have I done now?
I can't deal with this.
Can you not? I can't. It's just too many bosses here. And
I'm out. I'm bailing as a boss. Catherine's the boss now.
There's
are you
one
going to dump us in, Ian? Well, one of you dump us.
Darren, there's only one boss here. You and I both know who the boss is.
Yeah.
So what have you got to say to me?
He can't have double bubble. He can't.
How can I? How can I do what you're asking me to do there, man? It's really it's been a right laugh tonight, but Howie.
Howie yourself.
I can't have. I hear the Howie.
You did it first.
Do you
remember?
Yeah, I do, but it's where I come from. You know, when someone fires it back at you from London or wherever they are down south.
I'm not from London.
Wherever, it doesn't work. That's all.
Right.
Did he call you an arsehole?
No, that's all.
I didn't. Ian.
It can't have double bubble.
Ian, I didn't call anyone in E.
He said kill?
Call. I didn't. I know, because you don't understand the Geordie language, Ian. I'm out.
I'm out.
Well, but if you're not hearing it, why are you answering? Come on, man.
I'm hearing it, but I'm out.
Come on. I had a relevant point to you with regards to computers, and it's just wasted loads of time.
Yeah. So what's the moral of this story, Darren?
The moral of the story is it would take forever.
No.
To even explain the moral. So
no, it wouldn't.
I'm going to.
I told you the moral earlier on.
Crispy duck out of the oven. No, it had something to do with the crispy duck, and my son upstairs on the other computer, and blah blah blah, and it just didn't work, did it?
Quit while you're ahead, Darren. You were ahead.
Yeah.
You were ahead.
I'm still ahead.
Well,
I'm still flat out 10 yards ahead of the lot of you.
Well, okay.
Thank you.
See ya.
And I'm sorry for the double bubble, Ian, if you're still not listening.
He's not listening.
With suntan bodies and waves of sunshine and California girls and a beautiful coastline with warmed up weather, let's get together and do it again. Da 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 ba 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 ba. Come on home and do it again.
But don't do it again, Darren.
With the girl, the lonely sea looks good in the moonlight. Makes your night times warm and out of sight. Been so long, dun da da da. Been so long, dun da da da. Been so long, dun dun. No double bubble on this show. It's in the rule guides. Everyone should have received your copy of the rule guides now. If you've not, switch the radio off, go online, find them. If you've got them, you've not read them, switch the radio off, put the phone down, read the rule guides. Once you've learnt them and memorised them and filled in the questionnaire at the back and sent it in and had it marked by one of our team of experts here, and you've received a grade of B+ or higher, then you can switch your radios on again. It's very, 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 very simple. Very simple. Paul is on the line. Good evening, Paul.
Hiya.
Hello, Paul.
I know we had a disagreement the other night. I forgive you.
I accept your apology.
Kind of apology, yeah. Okay, right, yeah.
I accept your apology, and I'm glad that you've come on air to admit that you made up things and were completely wrong. And that's fine.
So, anyway, I
thought you were going back to talk sport.
No. Okay, right. Yeah, I'm mad, aren't I? Can't stop listening to you.
Yeah, you're addicted. I'm like crack. You like my crack.
You're a shock jock, yes.
Yeah, I'm a shock jock, and it's the early 90s. I'm a shock jock.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, and on Monday's show, we've got 2 lesbians coming in to have sex in the studio. That's what we're going to do.
It's not shocking anymore, though, is it?
Lesbians having sex on the radio. That's what we're doing on Monday, shock jocking. And I'm going to phone people. I'm going to phone up McDonald's restaurants and shout "Baba Booey" down the phone to them. That's what we're going to do.
Okay, can I pay you a compliment then?
Well, you can tell me what you called in for, Paul.
Okay, I called in because you're on about Mother's Day.
Yes.
Okay, right. I'll tell you the total truth tonight, that I've done tonight.
Please don't tell me you've killed someone's mother.
No.
You are a mother.
No, I'll tell you.
Mother.
No. I've gone up to my local co-op in Stoke Poges tonight.
Yes.
To get my mum something for Mother's Day.
Classy.
I don't have much money.
No.
Okay, so that's the best I can do.
No, it's not. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
You were right about all these different flipping cards. They're all flipping awful, aren't they?
Not all of them.
Well, Clintons, they got a lot to answer for. Anyway, I bought my mum a lovely card that was the plain one that just says, Happy Mother's Day.
Up your bum.
Celebrating a fabulous mum. Yeah?
Yeah.
Now, I've also bought her, she loves popcorn, my mum,
Oh,
under
no.
the telly.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I could have bought...
I hate popcorn.
Now, I could have bought the Co-op Zone big bag of popcorn.
Yes.
That was salt and sweet.
Salt and sweet.
That was £1.9p.
Yeah, £1.9.
Okay, but on the shelf next to it was Tyrrell's.
Tyrrell's.
You know, Tyrrell's.
Yeah, I do. The
Tyrrell's,
posh
the
corn. Posh corn.
Yes, so I got her that for £1.79 instead.
But which one had the most popcorn in?
Oh, well, who knows? I didn't count the flipping...
Well, were they the same size?
Yeah, same size.
So you paid
big bag.
more for
Yeah.
the same product?
Yeah,
So
because
what your
you
mum,
said
when your
posh
mum
corn.
gets that, right, when your mum gets that, she's going to think,
She'll like
what an
it
idiot.
more, won't she?
My son is an idiot. Have I taught him, he's not learned anything about saving money from me at all.
Okay, finally I'll finish because my battery's going to run out, right? My mum's got a cough and cold at the moment.
Did you buy some tunes as well?
No, do you know what I also bought her?
Some cough medicine?
Some Hall Soother sweets. Cough and cold sweet, yeah. I bought some Hall Soother cough and cold sweet.
And there's nothing that says Mother's Day more than Hall Soothers.
Paul. Yes.
You're Paul.
Good. Very well done.
Thank you, Paul.
She will love these as a present.
Hall Soothers for Mother's Day. Is this a wind-up?
No, she's got... I'm telling you the total truth.
Are you what? Have Cundy and Goldstein set you up to? Are you a character? Is this Andy Goldstein?
No.
Because you speak a bit like him, a bit like you got a sausage in your mouth or something.
No, I don't.
That was it. That was Goldstein. That was pure Goldstein. Paul. I think we busted Andy Goldstein there, trying to do a little prank call on us, was he? Trying to do a cheeky little prank. Clip that and send that to the sports bar, because they did ask us to.
They miss him, don't they?
They do miss him. 03444 499 1000.